What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are going to be reviewing a 2023 Ford Explorer. This Explorer is in the XLT trim, which is basically the basic trim with only a few options. So without further ado, let's review this car. And we have the lock, unlock button. We also have a remote start, which is really nice in the weather right now, which is 10 Fahrenheit, which is about minus 15 degrees Celsius. We also have a trunk release and an alarm button. And we also have the key inside over here. So if you've seen my YouTube shorts, the Ford lighting is basically in service because the charging module failed on it, and we have this brand new, literally brand new, with only 500 miles Ford Explorer. So I thought, let's just review the car. So without further ado, let's unlock it and let's check the exterior of the car. As we see over here, it comes with standard daytime running lights, which is really nice. And as you can see, it can come over here. And the entire headlight is also LED, which is nice. We have these types of fog lights over here on both sides. We have a big grille and also the adaptive cruise control module, which is under the license plate over there, if you can see it. And one cool thing about this Explorer is that over here, as you can see, it has a really unique hood shape, which is nice to see. And for this year, the Explorer, I think it's a little bit larger than the last year one. This one is with 7 seats and 2 captain's chairs in the middle, and I think it makes a really great family car. As you can see over here, we have big tires for the Ford Explorer, and also the basic rim, which is nothing crazy, but nothing. Over here we are on the right side of the vehicle. This car is in a basic white finish. It has some chrome on the doors, over here on the side skirts, and it has plastic cladding, which is kind of nice. That means you can take it off-road, or like in the hard winter weathers, like in the winter time right now. It also have roof bars, which you can put like skis or cargo boot or anything like that. And the doors are pretty big, as you can see over here. They're really huge, so it's easy access to get inside. And over here we have the redesign of the rear of the Ford Explorer. We have the LED taillights with the reverse lights and the turn signals, which are basic bulbs, which is fine, I guess. This one is a 4-wheel drive model. I believe all of them come with 4-wheel drive. And as you can see here, the backup camera, we have the Explorer in chrome, and also 2 exhaust tips, one over here and then one on the other one, and on the other side. We have parking sensor all around the rear, which is nice to have. And here's the driver's side. We got some good body lines over here. The same chrome on the side skirt, and blacked out on the sides over here, which is, I guess, it's kind of nice, and it goes really good with the white color. But without further ado, let's start the car via the remote, and let's see what sound does it have. So to do that, we press the lock button and double click on the start, and as you can see, it's just started. Let's get a sound clip of the engine. So that was the sound clip. It doesn't sound bad, but it doesn't sound great either. But you know, it's not a sports car or anything like that. But let's check the engine right now. Pull this twice. Let's check out the hood. Alrighty, so here we have the 4-cylinder 2.3-liter turbocharged engine that comes with the Ford Mustang as well. And I think this is a basic engine that comes with the car, because the higher models comes with the V6, like the Ford Explorer XLT. That makes a lot of power, but this engine is not that bad actually for this car. It makes about 280 to 300 horsepower and it moves along pretty well. Here we have the engine ECU, and as you can see there's a ton of space, because here goes the big here we have, and as you can see over here we have a ton of space, because as I said, this is the basic engine and the bigger engine fits here as well. But I think it's nice to have the smaller engine, just because you have so much room to work on. As you can see here, you can change the alternator and the belts pretty easy. We have the spark plugs over there and the coil packs, which is really relatively easy to change, but nothing crazy under the hood. It gets moving, and it's pretty nice to have, because it's pretty nice to have because this is a big car and it consumes a lot of gas. Let's close the hood and let's check the inside, because it's literally freezing. Over here on the door handle I don't seem to find something like an indent to lock and unlock. Oh, it's over here. As you can see, it has the lock button. You just tap that to lock it, and to unlock it you put your hand on the back and it unlocks. Here we have the door panel. It's pretty basic Ford panel. We have the lock and unlock button like here, like any other Ford models. I think this is a tweeter, which it is. We have the windows control over here, and also leather beds, which is pretty soft over here, and at the top it's also soft as well. Over here on the bottom we have the big speaker, and we also have storage for a big bottle, and then some storage for maybe your phone or coins or whatever. However, this one here is not the storage because it goes through, so be mindful of that. Here we have the seat. The seat is pretty large. It has lumbar support, it's electric, and it's pretty comfortable on long trips, which is really nice to see. Over here we have the lights control, which you can control if you put them high beams, or if you want to put them on auto, or just auxiliary lights. And then you can also open the trunk over here as well. Let me shut down this a little bit. Here we have the steering wheel. We have the menu controls, which you can control the screen over there in the middle. We have the skip buttons for your music for your phone. We have the voice control for the Ford Link, and over here we can see we have the lane keep assist, which is really nice actually on long drives, because it keeps the steering wheel between the lines like an autopilot, which is fantastic. And we also have the adaptive cruise controls, and they both work together at the same time, and it is pretty seamless drive, which you can do like 10-hour drives with ease and you don't have to be that much tired. Whereas if you don't have these features like the lane keep, like the active lane keep assist and the adaptive cruise control, it would be more tiring. As I said, this is the base model, which is the XLT, and it comes pretty well packed. As we see over here, we have a big display which we can control with the movements. Over here we can see the MPGs, which is not so great, I would say, about 20.7 MPGs for average, as we can see on the 603 miles, which is not great, but this is a big car, so it's whatever. And then we can see the tire pressures, the audio, and also when you have your navigation it can come up over here as well, and then we can change the menu, the display setup. There's a lot of stuff that we can configure over here, which is pretty nice. We have the audio here, and then we can just select what we want and what we don't want, like the intelligent four-wheel drive, the off-road, seat belts. It's pretty configurable, which is really nice. As you see, we just put the off-road one, and we have the intelligent four-wheel drive. When you're on the dirt roads or snow, you can see where the power distribution is, which is pretty nice. This car also have automatic high beams, which is great in the dark. It activates by itself. We have your turn signals over here, obviously, and the windshield wipers over here. One thing about this car is it doesn't seem to have automatic wipers that it detects the rain, which is really weird to me. I don't know why it doesn't have that, but coming over here in the middle, we have the engine start stop button over here. It kind of hides a little bit over here. We have the heated seats and also the heated steering wheel, which is really nice and toasty over here right now, which is great in the winter time. As I said, it's only 14 Fahrenheit, which is crazy. We have the climate controls over here. We can start it, we can turn the fan up, we can control where the air goes, all your basic controls basically, and you can also do that on the menu over here on the screen, which is pretty great. And also we have a separate controls for the rear climate, because it is a big car. You can send basically hot air on the rear too, and as you see, it comes from those top air vents on both sides as well, so that's pretty nice to see. Let's close that down, we don't want to get too hot. Over here we have the basic display for the Ford Explorer. As I said, it is the basic model, so everything is basic. I think the heated steering wheel and the adaptive cruise control may be like a technology package, but besides that, this car is a pretty basic option. But with that being said, this car has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and it also has its own navigation unit, which is pretty good. And I've used it a couple times when my phone has died, and I didn't really have any problems with it. The audio system is basic, it's not like a name brand or anything, but again, it's not bad at all for a basic trim. Over here on the bottom we have some storage space where you can connect your USB cable for Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Over here on the bottom as well, we have, over here on the bottom of the screen as well, we also have a storage space where you can put your phone, which is pretty nice, but it's not wireless charged. I don't know why. It seems like a great spot to be wireless charged, but it's not, which I find it really weird. Here we have the gear shifting, so this is how you change your gears for reverse. As you can see, we have the parking lights as well. We have neutral like every other. We have drive, where you can put it in drive and drive off. And we also have L, but that's low range mode, if you're stuck somewhere or you need just a low gear just to drive a little bit slower to get out of a sticky situation, but usually nobody uses it. So we have the electronic parking brake over here with the auto hold option, and over here in the bottom we have the drive modes, which this car has a lot actually. It has normal mode, it has slippery for like frost or ice, it has trail for off-roading, it has deep snow and sand, it has eco mode, which I usually keep it at, it has sport mode, and it also has the tow and haul mode, which is great because this is a big car and obviously people who buy this usually tow small boats or stuff like that, so that's good to see. Let's put this back in normal. There we go. And we also have a hill descent control modes over here, which I haven't pressed. There we go. That's nice. And we also have like a traction control button over here, which you can deactivate it and activate it. So that's nice to see. With that being said, this is the front area and this is the driving area, what you see when you drive, which is not bad at all. I really like this car. Here on the top we have a placeholder for your sunglasses, and we also have the big sunroof, which we can open over here. Let's open the shade. Let's see it in action. As you can see, this sunroof is massive. It almost goes up into the third row seats, which is great views for the family when you're going on a long road trip in the night and you want to see the stars. So this is a pretty big sunroof, which is great. And we also have your usual lights. And we also have your usual lights over here as well. So, but with that being said, let's go jump in the second row seat, which it has captain chairs. Here we have the second row. You have your basic controls for the window and some extra storage. As I said, it is captain chair seats, which you can move them forward and backwards, and you also have some space over here to put like a newspaper or something like that. And it has a clean access through the middle to go to the third row seat, which is really nice. So this is a big car. It is a really big car. As you can see over here, I got plenty of space over here, and if you are someone who is a little bit bigger, as you can see here, Ford has a little bit of indent that goes inside the seat, so if you have big legs, you can go inside the seat a little bit as well and have a little bit more storage, a little bit more room for your legs. Over here in the middle, as you can see, it has the indent for the rear climate control, but just because this car is so basic, it doesn't have that, but it just has the cutout, which is funny. But here we have some power option. We have a USB and a Type-C, which is nice to see, and we also have a 12-volt cigarette lighter, which you can put your accessories like a laptop charger or stuff like that. But overall, the rear seat over here is really comfortable. You know, I can go for hours on this car on long trips, and we also have the vents here for the heat and also the AC in the summer, which is great. We have some hooks over here for your coats on both sides, and we also have big handles over here, which that is really nice. So when you consider purchasing a car, you also have the Toyota 4Runner, which I did a review on, but I think that this car is slightly bigger, because the seats in the middle here on the captain chair seats are a lot more space than the Toyota had, and also the third row has more space than the Toyota 4Runner actually has. But you know, the Toyota 4Runner is a more off-roady car, whereas this car is more on the city and long road trips than actually off-road. But I actually did a review of the Toyota 4Runner. I'm gonna put it up on the top bottom left, so make sure to check it out and compare them both if you're looking to purchase a car. But other than that, there's actually not much else to talk about this car. This car actually drives pretty nice, and it's really comfortable on bumps because it has a big suspension, and it also has big tires, so you don't feel the road that much either. The third row is pretty comfortable, as you can see over here. We also have some charging options over there, and also a cup holder for your kids. And the trunk space is pretty decent. I would say is a little bit bigger than the Toyota 4Runner, because this car is a lot more longer. But overall, I think that you should consider this car on your purchase list. Make sure to go and test drive one. I think they're really nice. They're big, they have big tires, they're four-wheel drive for in the snow and the dirt. And I think that with the 4-cylinder engine, I think they make great family cars for fuel efficiency. And I think that the starting price of this car is not too bad. It's about $43,000, and considering all the options and being a 7-seater, this is definitely something to consider. Whereas other vehicles like the Chevys are not that reliable, and the Toyotas and Lexuses are considerably more expensive. So overall, I think that it is a great alternative, and that you should really consider one for purchase, because it makes a great 7-seater and a road trip car. So that is it with today's video. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you guys.